In 2024, the most talked about player in women's basketball, the rookie pulling millions of viewers to their screens, selling out arenas across the country, earned a salary of around $76,000. That same year, the league she was carrying signed television deals worth billions. For most of the WNBA's history, that was the deal. The players generated the value. Almost none of it flowed back to them. So why do the best basketball players in the world earn so little for so long? The answer isn't what most people think. And in 2026, it changed in a way nobody thought possible. To understand the problem, you have to see the actual numbers. As recently as the 2025 season, the WNBA's minimum salary was about $66,000. The average salary across the entire league was around $120,000. And the very top contract, the Supermax, reserved for the league's biggest stars, was capped at roughly $250,000. $250,000 for the best player on a team in a professional league at the peak of her career. Now put that next to the men's game. NBA players routinely earn tens of millions per season. The gap was in a different universe. And here's what made it stranger. This was happening while the WNBA was growing faster than almost any league in sports. The money was pouring in. It just wasn't reaching the players. The question is why? And there are three real reasons. The first reason is the most important in the NBA. Players receive roughly half of all the money the league makes. It's written into their agreement. Revenue goes up. Player pay goes up with it. Automatically. For nearly its entire history, the WNBA had no such system. The league could sign a giant television deal, and none of it was required to reach the players' paychecks. Their salaries were set by a fixed cap that grew slowly, year by year, regardless of how much money the league actually brought in. Think about what that means. The players could double the audience, and their pay would barely move. They were building a business they didn't own. The very first time the league shared revenue directly with its players happened only in 2025, after nearly 30 years. The second reason is harder to hear. For most of its life, the WNBA didn't have much money to share because it was losing it. Teams shut down one after another in the 2000s. The Houston Comets, the Sacramento Monarchs, the Miami Soul, gone for 15 straight years. From 2009 to 2024, the league didn't add a single new team. It was surviving, not thriving. Owners routinely operated at a loss. In an environment like that, sky-high salaries simply weren't possible. You cannot pay players money. That doesn't exist. 4 years, low pay wasn't only about fairness. It was about a league fighting to stay alive. The salary cap in 2019 was still under $1 million for an entire team. But the problem came when the money finally arrived. The third reason sat inside the fine print. Even within that small cap, the maximum any single player could earn was locked to a tiny slice. When the league introduced its first max salary in 2003, it was set at around 14% of the team cap. That slice shrank. No matter how valuable a single player became, the rules capped what she could be paid to a fraction of an already small pool. And then the players stopped accepting it. At the end of 2024, they opted out of their agreement, walking away from the old system. In March 2026, they won a deal that rewrote everything. The team salary cap jumped from $1.5 million to $7 million. The minimum salary went from about $66,000 to at least $270,000. The league average leapt to $600,000. And the Supermax was set to start at $1.4 million. For the first time, there would be million-dollar players. Most important of all, salaries were finally tied to revenue. When the league grows, the players grow with it, with a 20% share. But even this is not the end of the argument. 20% is a historic leap, but still far below the 50% NBA players receive. The debate over what counts as a fair cut is far from settled. The league argued some proposals could have driven it back into losses. What's no longer in doubt is the direction. The era of the best players earning less than a mid-level office salary is ending. For almost 30 years, the WNBA underpaid the best players on earth. It took the players themselves refusing the old deal to change it. The rookie who earned $76,000 will be remembered as the last generation paid that way. It's a correction. 30 years in the making.